Another slug of coffee. All right. So this is session 7. I can't believe we're here. We've gotten this far. Next time is the last one. It's another Sunday morning that I had to get up super early and drink a lot of coffee. And I've got my Saint Luchador shirt on here. So for today, got that in honor of the event. So that's all set. So what we're going to do today is we're doing another event. We're in Montreal, a storied home of wrestling, and things have been changing in the promotion, and we're getting ready. We're setting up for the big pay-per-view. Again, we're using Worldwide Wrestling, written by Nathan Paoletta, which is an awesome game, and this is part of the Gauntlet Hangout, so be aware that we do use the X card for problematic material, so if you see that happen during the session, you'll know what that is, viewers. So what I want to do is have everybody go and introduce their characters just briefly, and then we're going to do a little bit of character setup stuff. So I'm actually going to go to the wrestler tab, and we'll go in the order left to right. So Jeffrey, what do people need to know about Jeffrey Bleakwood?
Jeffrey Bleakwood is a behind the scenes. He's really, really interested in all the sort of promotional aspects of wrestling. He likes big characters. He likes theatricality. You can never go big enough for Jeffrey. He thinks wrestling is just this sort of little vehicle that gets us to the serious drama, right? And so that's kind of his deal. On screen, though, gimmick-wise, he is. He portrays as like an overgrown little boy. He wears like suspenders and short pants and bow tie and a burlap sack over his head. And he used to carry around a doll with power named Clarabelle, but I've been told that the Clarabelle's missing now. So, but his whole thing is like sort of the Bleakwood family. The history is like they're a family of Satanists basically, and he has lots of like sort of devilish powers and stuff. So devil worship is his motif. Yeah.
Awesome. Padishah.
All right, the Padishah is almost the mirror image of Bleakwood, where he is very much old school. He is a relic of a different era. You're going to see that by kind of 80s sort of look he has. Behind the scenes, he's been frustrated by all the hardcore, the violence, the people breaking kayfabe and hurting each other in the ring. And to kind of control that, he's brought in his own enforcer with him, a very old school type of wrestler, the Skunk Ape, who is like a wild man, with almost subhuman intelligence is what he portrays. And he's been kind of doing that very old school angle while punishing people that go off script or kind of work a little bit too stiff.
Nice. Let's hear about the Dingo.
Sweet. So Lucas was the man behind the mask of Candyman, at least the latest iteration of Candyman. But unfortunately, creative could not come up with a way to bring him back for the second time in 1 week out of death. So he finally got his wish to evolve beyond the Candyman and become kind of his own wrestler, which he demanded from Wolf Backhouse, be something that is of Australian origin so that he doesn't have to do a stupid fake American accent anymore. And in a heat of passion, he demanded that his wrestler be the Dingo. In reality, he looks kind of like all the best parts of Indiana Jones mixed with all the best parts of Crocodile Dundee. And instead of a clown anymore, he is now a high flyer. So he is jumping off of the ropes, doing all kinds of things like that, and will frequently try and incorporate like vines and things like that into the match so that he could be swinging around on those.
Nice. Let's hear about the Gauntlet, aka Thomas M. Peterson.
So the Gauntlet is a nefarious supervillain who wears a monocle that actually functions as a camera. So it's often up on the Titantron. Big deal in his first appearance of having acquired the contracts of everybody in the company, which in some cases, such as in Bleakwood, required it be signed in blood, whereas if it's the Terminatrix, it had to be digital, but by God, he got them all. And it's part of his step towards ruling the world. Backstage, Thomas M. Peterson legitimately does own 51% of the company. He just really, really wants to be involved because he grew up loving wrestling and doing some backstage stuff. He has a certain love of the campy appeal of the Padishah, but at the same time, he is here to make money, so he doesn't give two figs about sticking to tradition or whatever. As far as he's concerned, if the audience is growing, he's doing well by his shareholders and growing a field he loves.
So I imagine that the contracts you have, like they're actual physical things, and you have them like in a case that you carry, and it says contracts in big letters on the top, that kind of thing.
I think it's like Deal or No Deal. He has all his faceless minions wearing sunglasses are all carrying a case, and each case has a different contract because they're so voluminous.
Yes. Finally, revolutionary Randy Burns, an important figure.
Yeah, the new revolution of the promotion, the big turning point of the promotion. Revolutionary Randy Burns, ! Is the younger brother of Terry Burns. He's been traveling around the world, learning his wrestling art in Japan and Britain. And now he's returned to the States to show this promotion what he's made of. Obviously, he's made a good start with a good win in his first bout, and now, in this situation, he's probably gunning for some of the more established wrestlers to show them up, and also probably to impress the boss a little bit. But yeah, he's a fairly no-nonsense kind of straight wrestler guy.
Awesome. So we're gonna do one heat mat question from each wrestler. So if you go to the promotion tags and troubles tab, I've got some extra heat questions, and essentially I'm going to go in the same order we just did, and you can pick a question and put it out there for the group, and see who bites. So Jeffrey, which of these do you think you want to put out there for the group?
Where are those located? Well,
under the promotion tags and troubles tab. Should be the third column over.
Got it. Okay. Give me just 1 second. Sorry.
Sure, absolutely.
If somebody else wants to go, they go for it.
So let's Padishah. Do you see one of those that you want to? You are muted.
There we go. Okay, so yeah, who is just biding their time until my inevitable fall?
All right. Somebody want to grab that? It'll allow you to get an extra heat with the heel that is Padishah.
I'll go ahead and grab it. We're both heels, but I mean, honestly, I think the Gauntlet has put the Padishah on as a kind of callback to his youth, but is aware that his time has passed. So he's just kind of using him as the link to the future.
All right. So Matt, you will get +1 heat with the Gauntlet.
Okay, I've got my question now.
Okay.
So the last episode that Jeffrey appeared in, he did a pile driver and also like a turnstile maneuver. And I think, so my question is, who have I approached about improving my ring work? This is a new emphasis for Jeffrey. So.
Ooh, interesting.
Well, I'll go with that. Yeah, I'll pick that one.
I mean, I've literally done 2 wrestling moves in like 5 episodes.
Yeah.
So. All right, cool.
That's a good start.
It is I think it's a good start.
That's nice. Yeah.
I'm pleased that you came to me. It was cool.
Awesome.
Especially since you're the one that caused his brother to become a zombie in the fiction.
Right, yeah.
All right. And then Dingo.
Who sees my potential for stardom?
Ooh.
I'm happy to grab it.
Okay.
Because you're bringing the combination of theatricality, wrestling, and complete disregard for your own body that I think Gauntlet League Wrestling really needs.
Nice.
Awesome. And then we come to the Gauntlet.
Oh, hey. So, kind of like with Bleakwood, the Gauntlet is in fact a terrible wrestler, but I took a move where when I start wrestling, I get momentum. So who trained with me outside the promotion?
Ooh.
It's interesting.
Anybody with any knowledge of wrestling?
I will take that. What the Padishah saw was a money mark, and he wanted to get his claws in. Like, oh yeah, you're doing great, kid. You're doing great. Let me show you how to do the keyhole. Yeah, stuff like that.
Excellent.
Padishah smells paydays a mile off. All right. And Edwin, what about for Randy?
Okay. I think I'm going to go with who can't remember who I am.
I kind of like perversely want it to be me.
Yeah. Like you always get my name wrong or something.
Right. I think I call you Terry, or I call you. Yeah. Just,
Oh, okay.
Right,
Actually, that's good.
He's like showing you new moves, and you're like, "Thanks, Terry."
That's
awesome.
Or I think you're like some kind of like, I think you're actually like just some sort of like technical employee,
Yeah, like a trainer.
Like, right, like a trainer, right? Yeah, like
in the ring.
Good for you.
All right. So I'm want to ask each of you a question before we get to the booking and the looking at cutting promos and things like that. So let's start with Jeffrey. Jeffrey, last week, the champ, Stan the Percolator Steiger, he's been champ for a long time, has the MC belt, and cut a little promo against you at the beginning, and then broke up the Bleakwood Manor set. So what is your relationship with him? Is that a shoot? Is it a work? So tell me how you imagine that.
I think this is actually all part of. I think I'm in on this. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm in on this. And so who stole Clarabelle? How'd that happen?
And that is Steiger. Percolator has it.
Okay, so perfect. All right, so Percolator stole Steiger. I think the new sort of angle I'm going for with Jeffrey is that Clarabelle was like holding him back. Okay. Ooh. And now that Clarabelle's gone, I'm becoming like more monstrous and more scary, right? I'm gonna pick up a little bit of Harbinger's business, right?
Okay.
And so I think that's kind of my angle with this, So now I'm like just this like force of this dark force like unleashed without Clarabelle, and I think I want Clarabelle back to destroy her.
Awesome, and I like that Percolator was in on it.
Yeah, he's totally in on it. Yeah.
Good, awesome. Let's go to then Padishah. Padishah, so what is your agenda right now?
The Padishah's agenda right now is to somehow, again, he's not unaware. He knows that he is old school, that he's not of this current time, that things are changing. He doesn't get it, but he sees what makes money. And so he's kind of desperately trying to latch on to this stuff that he doesn't understand to make money. Kind of like what I imagine the Sid and Marty Krofft shows were like in the 70s. And he knows that this skunk ape thing that he has right now is a mid-card gimmick. So he's looking for a hook to get in on something that he sees as current.
Yeah. Hence your courting of Lady Bleakwood on previous episodes.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Dingo, you're hot. I mean, Candyman, they kind of liked him. You're hot. What's your reaction to the attention and the excitement behind you?
I think it's just like, it's really like, he thought that it would always be like, really gratifying or whatever, but like it turns out like he just kind of feels more or less the same as ever, and so it's kind of like disenchanted with the whole thing. But I think he's trying to like see if like he just needs to push it to the next level, and then that's when he'll be like satisfied with it.
Awesome. Gauntlet.
Word.
What needs to change in the promotion?
Gauntlet is not thrilled with the inconsistent writer's room because we have a whole lot of different kind of things. And one of the reasons that he started wrestling was to take a more active hand in directing the story, because we have multiple sub-stories without a overarching story. So really we have to make a cohesive, synergistic approach to Gauntlet League Wrestling in order to see it proceed into the future. Hence the introduction of fine characters such as the Analyst.
Awesome. Finally, Randall, so Terry's still around. He's still here, but he's kind of stuck as now they got this zombie thing. So what's Randall's interaction with his brother right now like?
I think Randy's keen to get him clean, get him out of this dumb sort of doing this job just for the money kind of thing, rather, and get us back into a decent tag team partnership, and take the promotion from that perspective, I think.
Do you think that Terry is using again?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I've never known him. I haven't seen him clean for quite some time, right? So,
okay.
And anyone that picks up a terrible zombie gimmick is probably not right, right in the mind.
All right. So we're going to come into Montreal. Probably a bigger stadium than the audience you actually get, because kind of off season. The promotion is set up there. They've tried to advertise it. One of the things they advertised was that the Pebble, a local boy, was going to be here, but then he doesn't show up. So there's a little bit of tension in the crowd about that. And of course, the commentators aren't making any mention of that. But before we get rolling, Dingo, you get to roll your over move.
Yeah.
So let's have you roll with look.
This is looking like a good start. Look is 2, so 5. Is it worth 2 momentum to push it over? Let's see.
So here's going to be the result. On a botch, either you let me book you with a terrible opponent, or you get to look at the promotion tags and troubles and pick a new trouble for the promotion.
Let's pick a new trouble.
I knew that's the most exciting of them. So right now we have Riders at Sea and Forces in the Shadows. So what do you think should be a new trouble that's happening based on current events, based on everything?
I think we're just starting to get into like a really niche fan base. Like, our show's gotten so weird. There's only like so many people who are into it anymore. Like, it's all the people who watched it for what it used to be that are getting older, and then all of the new fans are just into like the strange little stories we're telling. They're not actually into wrestling at all.
Awesome. That's great. So we're going to come into the match. We're going to get things going. Expect there's some people who want to do some cutting of promos before we get rolling here. So who wants to take the table here?
I would grab for. I'm doing a work the audience, but I think it's a good opener.
Okay, so let's hear the opener then, Gauntlet.
Okay, so the shot is on the kind of luxurious looking office set with a desk there, and the Gauntlet is sitting behind a desk with a snifter of brandy in his hand, and he looks ruminating for a moment, and then he turns to the camera and says, "It's not easy to rule the world. I have many things in motion, many plans that are constantly in movement. Harder when I cannot expect my employees for a single week to survive without my presence. So I have returned. You're welcome. I am here to make sure things proceed as they ought, with order, with everything that Gauntlet League Wrestling, that the Gauntlet stands for." He stands up, and then he walks in, the camera pans, and you see he's actually inside of a dirigible. And the camera looks down the window at the stadium below. "I'll be watching."
This was most of the effects budget for this week. All right, let's have you roll with audience.
I'm rich, biatch. All right, so I rolled a 5, but I have an audience of 3 right now, so it's actually an 8.
Okay.
So let's have a look at a work. So many tabs.
Hey, Lowell, so after I did that move, does my audience reset to 2?
Oh, let's see. No, it'll stay at 4 until somebody pushes it down. So if when somebody else hits 4, it'll drop back down.
Okay.
Yeah, and you gain 2 momentum. Don't forget too.
Yeah, I got that. Is 4 audience an advanced condition?
What'll happen is if you wrestle, and hit 4 audience, then you'll get an advance. So
Okay.
it needs to drop down before you can get another advance.
Okay, gotcha.
Somebody else needs to hit 4 first. So what do you think, Jason?
I'm taking +1 momentum. I mean, I could push it to a
That
10
makes
and get
sense.
two momentum, but that does mean 0 good. So I'll take the 1 momentum.
All right. So anybody else want to cut something here before we get moving on some bookings, scenes or vignettes or interviews or call outs? Okay, let's hear
I've
it.
got one. So I think my promo that I cut is just a. I think we're gonna do. We're outside the stadium. We're like in a woods. Okay, we're in a woods, and we're doing some shaky cam footage of like a young person. We'll say a young woman who is. Who knows? We're not going to explain why she has a camera on her in the fiction, but we're doing shaky cam in the forest, and she appears to be running from something, right? We see her just running through the forest, like clambering around, stumbling, and like breathing and occasionally stopping, like she's terrified, like something is after her, right? And then we just see her like as the tension kind of builds, we see her like something like knocks her over and falls down, and we just see barely in frame. We just see like this sort of like half shrouded darkness, like new Jeffrey Bleakwood. Okay, which is still a little. It's still like a little unclear. It's Jeffrey. It's just like But I think maybe like we play that in the background. It's Jeffrey because we play "You Light Up My Life," like just the like theme, not the lyrics in the background.
In a minor key.
In a minor key, absolutely.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. And then that's it.
Let's have you roll work the audience.
Right. And of course, it says there's a little title card right in the beginning that says "In the Woods of Montreal." Right?
Yes.
Just
Deepest, darkest Montreal.
deepest, darkest Montreal. Right, the heart of darkness, Montreal.
And poutine.
Exactly. And then I also have my legend move. I don't know when that fires. I don't know if that fires maybe when I'm fully seen in the ring or what. But
Yeah, let's take a quick look at that. I think that's your first appearance.
okay, I don't know.
So
I don't know if this
roll your
counts.
work a move
Okay.
and roll your legend move.
Okay, so I've got a so the first one was a this was work a promo or a promo. What was it?
No, be work the audience.
Oh, work the audience. Okay, sorry. So that was a 10 plus.
Okay, so you can get
So-
you'll get 2 momentum.
Okay, perfect. And I'll just make my counter more visible. All right, awesome. And then I'm also rolling my legend move, right?
Yes.
Okay. That was a 9. And so on a 9, it says the crowd pops and I pick one. Well, so I'm at 3 audience right now. If I pick another audience, do I just advance again?
Yeah.
That seems like the right thing to do. So
It's
yeah.
certainly
Yeah.
the gamey thing to do.
The what?
It is the gamey thing to do. Yeah.
I know.
Smart
I
thing.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm doing it. Fucking, I'm doing it. Yeah.
Okay. So David, that means that your audience will drop down to 3.
Yeah. So I should cut a promo and bump it up to 4.
It's just a never-ending series of promos being cut.
Yeah. A set of vignettes. Does anybody else want to do something before we put a match on the table?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
The Padishah appears not in a blimp, not in a forest, but at the entrance ramp to the arena. And he has a silver gravy bowl in his hand. And he is proceeding to pour gravy all over a vintage Bret Hart wrestling buddy from the late 80s, early 90s. And like leading a dog, he is now waving this gravy-soaked Bret Hart in front of the skunk ape's face to kind of draw him to the ring, because otherwise the skunk ape will get distracted and start to wander. And he throws it into the ring, and the skunk ape proceeds to pounce on it and tear it apart as he tries to suck the delicious gravy out of it. And that, of course, will be my cheap heat against the Montreal crowd. And then he will get into the ring. He will take a microphone, and he will say, "For those of you that are confused, you are not watching the creature feature. This is professional wrestling. And the Padishah of professional wrestling will bring it to you where it belongs, in a wrestling ring. We have had enough of these outlandish scenarios. I have my man here. He is looking for a wrestling match, not against a little boy who needs his mommy and his dolly, but a man. So get a man out here now." And that will make me roll look for my cutting a promo.
Is anybody going to run out?
It sounds like he's calling out Bleakwood.
I feel like he's calling out Bleakwood. Yeah. I would be in the back being like, I'm not ready to make my appearance yet. Oh, boy.
So, Matt, what'd you get on your cut of promo?
I rolled a 10.
You get a momentum, and you get to pick one from the list.
I am going to choose 2 momentum for that, because momentum is also on the list, so I get 3 momentum total from that promo.
Okay.
I'm willing to have a response to it, actually. Because
So Jason Jason negotiate. Who wants to?
go for it. Gauntlet is fine.
yeah, it's still going to be a match with you. It'll just be later. So what happens is Gauntlet pops up and he goes, "I've been meaning to get to you, Padishah. I'm aware that you've been undermining my authority. I am aware of your plans. There is only room for one mastermind here. This one has the ability to determine who wrestles who. You want to see Bleakwood in a match? So do I. Against you. And I am making a match against the Padishah and Bleakwood.
The Padishah's a manager.
So Padishah's like,
I am aware of
now he's
that.
cowardly backing off like, no.
Roll
That's
your
perfect.
boss move.
All right.
It's classic manager.
I rolled like
move.
poop. I rolled like poop. I, in fact, botched this because even if I spend all of my freaking momentum, I don't make it.
I think. Oh, can I have that, lol? Can I have his botch?
Yeah.
To cut it in.
Yeah. Let's. So what happens when he just absolutely screws that up?
I
On
think.
a botch. Okay.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead. What does the move say?
Well, read your thing and then we'll play it out.
Sure. On a botch, creative books the finish, and you lose one audience as the crowd gets bored with your presence, regardless of what you're putting together for them. So the match still happens. Not exactly exciting the audience, who are all like, he's a freaking manager. So I lose one audience.
Okay. So, Jason, it'll go off now. It doesn't hit as hard as you want. So, Bleakwood, tell me what this looks like.
So I think. So Padishah's out there, like, doing his thing, and then Gauntlet cuts in on the big screen, like making the match, and Padishah's like, oh, you're doing the manager thing, right, or whatever. I think Bleakwood just I think there's right behind Padishah, there's just that my column of hellfire comes up right behind him on the ramp, right, kind of goes up behind him, and Padishah's freaking out or whatever, and then I've been raised up from below, using a little elevator thing, beneath the ramp. And so that when the fire clears, you see new Jeffrey Bleakwood, who is, I'm showing a lot more chest and arms, a little more ripped. I still have a hood on, but it's one of those sort of pointy, just those pointy, sort of ceremonial ritual hoods, right? I guess the clan wears, but also Catholic European. There's lots of other orders and stuff that wear such hoods. Mine is
Inquisitor
red.
ones. Yeah, Inquisitor ones.
Yeah, an Inquisitor. You're exactly, yeah. Mine's red, and I'm wearing I'm wearing a matching color of these dark red pants that are they look kind of those samurai dojo pants, kind of real flared out or whatever. So it's just that. And then my body is covered in satanic looking tattoos and stuff, right? Pentagrams and things like that. And I'm just there, I'm just there, just inches away from Padishah, right? Just kind of staring him down. What's Padishah doing?
The Padishah would now be on his knees, hugging the skunk ape's thigh, kind of like a child, behind him now,
Oh, Skunk Ape's up there. That's right. Yeah. Well, what about Skunk Ape? Does he do anything?
The skunk ape just looks bewildered.
Okay.
Without guidance, he's almost mindless.
And I think a bunch of my cultists come up from from the darkness, from the perimeter or whatever, and they're just gonna grab you, Padishah, because you did this move to me once. They just grab you and take you to the ring to be wrestled.
All right, so Padishah, you're carried to the ring. The skunk ape is probably standing at the now, licking the Bret Hart doll clean and standing at the side. And Jeffrey Bleakwood has entered the ring for a match. And Jeffrey, I think you have momentum here. I think you have the advantage. So I'm going to let you start the sequence. Unless anybody has interrupt things or things that you think would click off now. I don't know if you do, Matt.
I don't believe I do.
Okay. So
the cultists they just drag Padishah and I think Padishah's kicking and screaming as they or whatever as they drag him to the ring, and then they throw him in the ring, and then they make their little perimeter around the ring, right? Kind of guarding the perimeter so he can't just walk down there slowly. As I'm stalking down, there's no music. It's just several it's just sustained screaming, and it's just screams and another barnyard animal noises as I stomp down to the ringside, and I get inside, and I'm just like looking like really powerful, like I kind of spread my arms, as if I'm like, relishing in my power or whatever, right? And I like point to the floor of the mat, like I point to the apron, like to the ground, as if to suggest you can save yourself right now by just laying down and taking the pin.
Oh.
And the Padishah will spend 2 momentum to do a heel move here.
Okay.
He will lie down suspiciously close to the ropes, though, and upon lying down, will reach and grab his trusty atomizer and give you a blast of perfume in the face.
Straight that out.
I'm going to run in.
Okay.
Here comes Randy
That
Burns.
goes on.
Or Terry Burns. I can't remember.
And what I would do with that heel move was the get out of the match you've been booked in effect. So
Okay.
Perfectly.
Randy, let's have you roll your run-in.
Yeah, I've done one of those before, so let me.
Yeah. You're going to be rolling your heat with Bleakwood.
That's 2. So you're a heel, aren't you? I take it, yeah. So
I am, yeah.
So that's 8.
8. So you get a momentum, and then Jeffrey gets to pick one of the results under run-in, which is you attack them in the ring, resulting in opponent getting DQ'd. They win the match. Interference doesn't change the results of the match, but the creative books you later. Or the interference doesn't change the results of the match, but the opponent comes after you for interfering.
I'm going to find my move sheet. Darn it. Here we go. This is run-in.
While I'm doing that, can I do my reputation roll? Because this is the first time I've appeared as well.
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
So that's roll against real, which is 1. So that's 8.
Okay.
I'll tell you what that does.
Sure.
On a 7 to 9, there's a vocal minority. You gain 1 momentum when you mug to your fans in a segment until you botch a roll or the end of the episode, whichever comes first.
All right. So Bleakwood.
I think I'm going to go with your interference doesn't change the result of the match, but creative books the two of you in a match later in this episode.
Okay. Do you want to transition right into that match?
Yeah, if we want to. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
into it. Let's do it.
You get up there.
Did you ring the bell again?
Wolf Backhouse will look at you, Gauntlet, whether you want to call it or should he. The match should go off right now. You muted.
So Gauntlet's like, let it roll. This is great. This is classic.
And so Backhouse will step out and go, all right, Randy, if you want it so bad, take it now. No, ding.
Okay,
Randy,
I wasn't expecting that.
Start the match. We have control when we start this.
Okay, so I run in and dive under the bottom rope, right? Just as the Padishah's kind of slipping away from out of the ring, I guess.
And the Padishah starts peeling off dollars off of his roll at you as you're running into the ring.
So I think I probably just kind of elbow you just to kind of buy myself some time. And then I kind of run to one of the turnbuckles and kind of go, "Revolution!" to the crowd, and then run back in time to kind of swing you into the ropes and kind of clothesline you as you come back, and kind of then do another in the middle of the crowd, in the middle of the ring.
Nice.
So is your intent more to work the audience or to actually want to do for the wrestling move on that?
Yeah, I guess I'm working the audience, aren't
Okay.
I? So, yeah.
So you'll roll that and then control will pass over to him.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So go ahead and roll your
Sorry.
audience.
It's 2. Why did I manage 3? Hang on.
Too many
So,
dice.
Let me
Clear
can I
them.
clear those?
No, clear and reroll.
Yeah. No, man.
Oh.
So that's 5. Unless somebody
People
wants
were-
to put me over.
People don't understand. You talked about the fact that you've got a niche audience and people are kind of confused. And this is a real traditional Montreal wrestling audience. And they're like, what the hell is going on?
I knew I should have brought the French flag in.
Yeah, they're still angry about the poutine and the Bret Hart thing. And so it doesn't hit. And Bleakwood, he tries to do that. Crowd isn't buying it. And you have control of the match.
All right. So when we last saw you like clotheslined me, I guess, and then we're kind of like trying to pump the audience up, or what?
Yeah. So I'm sort of
Okay.
standing over you, pumping the audience up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think like I do that thing where like I just raise up like without putting my hands on the mat, like as if like some kind of power has like raised me up. So like I just like sit up like like straight up, without using showing my new improved abdominal strength. I just sit right up as if from my grave, and then I stand up and I just slowly like walk behind Randy while he's trying to pump the crowd up, right? and I think I'm gonna go in for a power move here. I'm trying to show off a little new angle of Jeffrey.
Okay.
And I just like walk behind him, and I just like grip him like by the neck, and then I just like try to like lift him up, like as if I'm holding him there, like lifting him up by his neck in the middle of the ring.
Ooh. So you want to do a feat of strength?
I do, yeah, and I'm not good at
Okay.
that, but I'm gonna try.
Let's roll feat of strength. You're rolling with power.
Indeed.
You got a bunch of momentum, so
Yeah. I'm hoping that can save me if this goes poorly. 8, 7. I'll take the 7. It's fine.
okay. So it's an obvious effort. You gain a momentum,
Okay.
and Randy, you get to pick one of those results under feat of strength. It's under the basic moves.
Let me just have a quick look.
And what kind of Bleakwood do we have here, folks? We haven't seen anything like this before. Look at him lift him up right off the ground.
Are you putting me over?
Nah, I'll save it for something later.
It's also another. Yeah, I think you do it right, but I'm obviously like I kind of do the like horrified as I turn around as you start to like lift me up and kind of see that you're sort of struggling with it. So I sort of jump a bit to kind of
Give me a boost.
make the lift go up.
Nice.
So then to allow you to sort of throw me across the ring a bit.
Nice. I'm like, thanks, man. Then I toss you. You go flying.
And that gives control back to you, Randy.
Okay, I sort of stagger around. I kind of hold onto the rope, and I'm holding my neck and kind of coughing like that. And I think Bleakwood's kind of ominously moving towards me. So I like.
I'm like, you're doing a great job, Terry. You're really awesome.
I kind of give him a look, right? So then he gets my name wrong. I'm like, oh, gotta. So I jump out the ring. I'm on the outside of the ring, and I kind of climb up the turnbuckle, and I'm going to go for some sort of a flying sort of elbow drop on him. So something might smart a bit if I slightly mistime it,
All right. What do you think you're gonna? Is this like you're doing a big memorable sequence, or you want to do it with your work? What do you think?
I think I'm just working it. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Go ahead and roll work.
I think that's 0. So.
Randy Burns recovering, climbing up on the turnbuckle. Can he land this?
Not the way I'm rolling at the moment. Oh!
Oh, goodness.
Look at that! Big hit off the turnbuckle.
All right. You keep control, and you can either gain a heat with him or get 2 momentum.
I'm going to get a heat.
Okay.
I need
Good
to get
call.
my audience up.
Yep.
Okay. So it sort of slams you back onto the mat. And I think I'm going to stand right behind you, right? And I'm going to start to threaten to take your mask off in the middle of the ring. And I'm kind of grabbing the edges of the mask.
I'm like, oh, pretend to be horrified by what you see. They love that. It's the best.
Randy's digging in the wrong kind of pile here, folks. Everyone knows what happens when you look under that mask.
Yeah, I think. What's the questions? Okay. I think.
I'll even spend the momentum to take control of that.
Okay.
And I think that's what happens. Like you go for the mask, and the announcer's like, don't do it, and then you like peel it up and you're just like, oh, like you just like, you like flail back and flail around. Right. And then I like pull it back down and I get back up. Right. And you're there, like you're really, really selling it, which is good,
Yeah.
And I think I just stalk across the ring again, like really slowly, like Jason Voorhees style. Like I'm in no rush, and I'm gonna catch up to you eventually, and I do, and then I think I just go in, and I think I just what's a good like big flashy thing to do? Oh, I think I'm gonna try to like pick you up and like lift you up over my head, right? I'm gonna try to like lift you up over my head and then like slam you down. I'm really trying to work this strength angle.
Okay. Where is this power coming from?
I'm unleashed.
Right. Let's have you roll your power move. We'll do power to wrestling.
All right, it's not good. It's 4.
4.
I'll put you over.
Okay. Does that just bump me up to the next tier?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
You can retain control, or you can give him control and gain a momentum.
I'll give him. I'll just retain control. I think
so it's not pretty.
Yeah, it's not good. I'm like, what does the announcer say?
Clearly, Clarabelle was just holding this guy back the entire time. His strength just keeps growing and growing. We've never seen this happen before from him.
And like I'm I'm barely getting it done, right? But I do eventually. I toss him down. Like right, exactly. Yeah. Randy's giving me lots of visual here. It's good. And I do it and I slam it. Bam.
Yeah. Hits hard, lands. He sells the hit. What happens next?
Then I think I'm gonna like put him. I've already like fed this to the announcer, a brand new signature move, which is like I call it the crucifixion, and it's basically like a hold, it's like a grapple, like where it's basically kind of like a crossface, chicken wing, like where you kind of put your arms around them and they're kind of like, spread, their arms are kind of spread out like that a little bit as you do pain on them. It's like that. So like I lift up Randy and I put him in this hold, and it's super painful, right, Randy? And it looks like his body looks like he's crucified, like in the hold, like he's, it's like that. Announcer, give it solid.
We haven't seen what kind of hold is this before? I don't even know what to call this. It looks like that man out there is getting crucified.
So what do you think this is? Is this
I think it's signature move.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going for signature.
Let's have you roll with look.
It is now that the announcer said that. So. That's 10. So.
Okay. So do you want momentum or heat?
I'll take momentum.
Okay.
And this is a good place for the run-in that I was planning.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to call out to the panel show. I was going to ask if you were still around.
The gravy-shopped, torn apart Bret Hart doll hits you in the face from outside the ring. This is going on. And now you have what belongs to the skunk ape. And he is furious as he charges the
skunk
ring.
ape's coming.
What just flew onto the stage? Is that a gravy-soaked doll?
And I imagine that a doll being in the ring will kind of freak out Jeffrey.
Yeah, I know. There's a whole thing, right? Yeah, it takes me a minute,
So
It doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes.
Who is Skunk Ape going after?
Oh, he is going right after Bleakwood.
Okay, so you get to roll with heat.
All right.
What does Skunk Ape look like? Just out of curiosity.
If you can put it up, I will send a picture in a minute after I do this roll.
Okay.
Where's the dice roller? So that is a 7 + 4.
Awesome. People love it. So you're going to get one heat with each other.
Yep.
Okay.
And then we pick from this list, right?
Yes.
Your interference doesn't change the result of the match, but creative books the two of you in a match later. Let's choose that.
Okay.
And I mean, two of you, I guess that means Skunk Ape. Yes,
Skunk Ape.
that's trying to
Yeah.
arrange. So the Skunk Ape will come in and just kind of, again, he's got no form, he's got no technique. This is just a big, ugly clothesline that he hits Bleakwood with while he's distracted. And meanwhile, while that's going on, the Padishah is walking out of the arena up the ramp very casually, but he's got a lady by his side.
Oh no! It looks like the Padishah has distracted Bleakwood with this doll. He thinks it's Clarabelle, but it's the Appalachian Abomination's meal.
And the camera will cut over to a shot of the Padishah looking back arm in arm with Lady Bleakwood as they head to the back there. So
I'm just wondering whether if the Skunk Ape's in there, whether I might slip off and maybe live to fight another day later on in the promotion. I don't know.
Well, so the match is
The
still
third
going.
match between Skunk Ape and Jeffrey Bleakwood.
So then,
The match is still going. Skunk Ape has come up. He's got an NPW that's in the ring. There's been no DQ yet. And Jeffrey, I think, still has control of the match.
Yeah, so he clotheslined me and broke you free, Terry, and so that's a thing that happened. So I'm down. You kind of scramble away, right? Catching your breath. And Skunk Ape is like pawing at this like Bret the Hitman Hart doll or whatever. And I think the referee's trying to get Skunk Ape out of there or whatever. Like that's all going on. And I think eventually just a couple of cultists like come into the ring and grab Skunk Ape and drag him off, right? So that we can continue our match.
Get a tranquilizer for that one.
Indeed.
Now, I am going to say this here. Since we got an interesting change and it's given him some breathing room, Randy is booked to win.
Okay.
Okay. So you can decide how you want to set that up, or if you want to do something to change that up, how you want to play that.
Okay, so I'm out of the ring, right? From underneath the ring, I pull the French flag, which I'm going to use as a bit of a weapon to kind of get a little bit of an advantage. So I get in and how am I going to use it as a weapon? That's a bit heelish, isn't it?
It is.
So like I know what I'll do. I'll get in the ring right while they're being distracted, and I'll kind of wave it and kind of absorb some of the revolutionary power from the flag, like I kind of caress the flag, and I kind of get the crowd to go revolution, revolution to kind of build my strength up, right? So I'm mugging to the crowd to get myself a momentum to try and do that with my reputation, right. And then as the Skunk Ape kind of gets dragged out of the ring, I'm kind of ready for Bleakwood and just leap on him and start like pound. Can
I do something to change the booking or to interrupt?
Yes, you could spend 2 to do your heel move to change that booking.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay, so I'm going to spend, because I've got plenty of momentum, so I'm going to spend 2 of them. So he's pumping up the crowd, revolution, that's all going on or whatever. I stand up and I'm while he's working the crowd, I'm trying to just sneak up against him, sneak up behind him again or whatever, right? And I do, and I grab like I think I have like my, I do my Hellfire thing normally, which is just like a little flash pop or whatever in their face. But I'm like putting it like directly on his face. Like I'm gonna like take my hand and like you just see, it looks like Randy's head is just momentarily engulfed in flame, right? When I put my hand on his head and you just see like or whatever, right? And but you don't actually catch on fire, but you can
Right.
like play it like you are or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Your face, like your skin is burning, and that's how I'm gonna do that to override the booking.
Okay. So he's going to do that. You spend the 2 momentum. Randy, you're down. I don't know if there's anything you want to do in reaction to that. You've lost the match, but you also have some opportunities there.
I'm just trying to work out. So yeah, I was just looking at my other indie move, which is hungry, which means if I'm booked to lose it, so I'm not booked to lose it. So I can't do that. I guess I could kind of.
You are actually
technically
booked.
you are now.
You're now technically booked to lose.
All right, so I could try and do that then. I could
Yeah.
take a preventative action to win instead.
Reaction back and forth. You've got something to do that.
Okay. I'm just trying. This isn't planned, is it? So I couldn't actually pull a video thing or anything like that. So
Right. No, everything. We always make things look as if it was planned.
Okay. So there's a full promo that he prepared, but in one bit of it, he's like in his sort of samurai dojo outfit with a blindfold on, and it comes on the screen as he's kind of like feeling his way like that, and basically it's like a samurai sword coming down, and he catches it between his hands, and it says with your body in focus, like that. It's just kind of weirdly cut because it was like part of a full like promo, and then like and then he kind of reaches out and grabs Bleakwood under his arm and just does he kind of lifts him up and does a flapjack, is it, where you sort of fall backwards and they smash their face on the
Nice.
on the canvas. And then I'm going to try and get you into a submission move. So,
Okay.
Which is my hungry, right?
So roll your hungry. You're rolling work.
Work. Come on.
Samurai Dojo.
Ugh.
Ooh.
So that'd be, I can't even, so I can do it. I can just about, let me see what 7 to 9 is. You win, but your opponent picks. You take an injury, lose -1 heat with your opponent, get pulled out of this feud by the creative.
David can also put you over.
Yeah.
No, I'll let it ride.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So yeah, I basically, so I put him in a nasty sort of Boston crab kind of leg lock thing. I kind of make it hurt a bit.
So Jason, you get to pick what happens now. I mean, he wins after this back and forth,
Right.
but he can take an injury, he can lose a heat with you, or he can get pulled from this feud. Like, we're going to go, okay, that
I think he takes an injury. I think my hellfire to the face was probably a like get immediate medical attention sort of thing, right? And he didn't. And I thought that maybe it was like I wasn't sure. It was kind of a mistake on my part, honestly. But he did not seek immediate medical attention. He went with his blind dojo thing, or his blind fighter, dojo scene, and continued the match. So I think he's just like has like an eye injury,
Yeah.
Maybe you've been blinded. That'd be fun, right? Now you come to the ring with like
an eye patch,
a cloth wrapped around your eyes.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So,
I can definitely work this.
yeah.
Nice. So that's how that match will end. They will get medics. Medics are rushing to the apron. Skunk Ape is wandering around the outside of the audience. People probably throwing food to him, that kind of thing.
Do not feed the Skunk Ape.
David, I'd like to cut backstage to something with you.
Okay.
And I'll start, and if you have something else you want to do afterwards, but Wolf Backhouse is tracking you down, and he will say, "Dingo." So we've got the merch is moving. We've got 2 different shirts. One of them is, and he'll hold this up, and it's got like a cartoon dingo on it, and it's carrying a baby, and it says, "Dingo, take my baby." What do you think of that? This one, we got the same dingo, and this one says, "And Dingo was his name." Oh, which do you like?
I mean, if I'm being real honest, I wouldn't use those to clean my car. But if they're selling, they're selling, and whichever you've got more printed of, I suppose.
I love Dingo, take my baby.
We just had a couple dozen. We're going to send this to the printer, so you got to choose.
Well, can we change it last minute? Just the words. We can keep the picture, but can we have like Dingo put a baby in me, something like that?
Okay. He's like, sure, whatever. Okay. He writes it down.
Like Dingo, make my baby, something like that.
Oh, wait.
That's pretty good. Yeah, Dingo, make my baby.
Okay. Got it. Okay. I'm going to go call the guys and have it sent on to merch. So Dingo, you will be back there, and Dreamboat Alex will come up to you. He's a face. He's kind of the guard enforcer for Percolator, though, and he will go and say, like, hot shit now, huh?
Well, so looks like it. People were just waiting for me to get out of that Candyman get-up.
Yeah. I understand maybe you might be going for one of the belts?
Well, I had a belt. Now I suppose I should get it back at least, or at least another one to replace it. Need to be a belt holder. Who's even got that DM belt anymore? Is that just up for grabs again?
It's up for grabs, but they're going to give it to me.
They got to book you for that one, I guess.
Yeah. Like, let's go now. You and me out there. Let's go.
What, like you just want to do a run on?
Yeah. I want to settle this because I've been here way longer than you have.
Listen, like, I'm the new hotness. If we're gonna go out there, they're gonna book me to win it. You don't want to go with me right now. I'm telling you.
Really? You think so? And he'll point over to a monitor, and you can see that the wallaby is tied up on a ring post out there.
You tied up the little fella. You got him to dress in his costume, then you tied him up. Like,
I told him that you had a special thing for him. He's not very strong.
Well, probably gonna have to make a T-shirt out of this one too.
Let's go.
Whatever, man. Let's go. Go ahead.
And so we're going to cut to the next sequence, unless anybody wants to interrupt with promos or anything like that. Yes.
I mean, when we have an opportunity to do it, we should. I had been planning on making a match with the Dingo, but if he's got one coming up, I kind of feel odd about doing it. So I don't know. I want to book myself into a match, but I don't want to book it with Dingo if he's about to go in. So I think I'll actually try and set up a thing with Revolutionary Randy Burns. But
Okay.
we'll just do it. What I'm going to do is actually have it be off camera so they can talk while he's getting his face bandaged.
Okay.
And so he'll be like, "Hey, Randy, that was great. I love that you fought right through it. That was super impressive that you did it. And to be honest, the scars are just going to add to your character. They'll help us move merch. And I think that the bandages tonight could really push you over the top. But hey, listen. So I've been thinking that if you're going to push this whole fighting against the man and revolution and going against things, you really have to be seen to be against the gauntlet. So I was thinking that we could be out there and you could kind of push my supervillain mystique and I could push you as the hero of the people, and it could really work for both of us. So I think that's what we're going to do. Okay, Randy?
Let me get this straight.
But
you want to wrestle an
bandages.
injured wrestler with no eyesight. It seems like a bit of an unfair advantage to me.
You've got one good eye. I mean, come on, look. What we're going on here is your mystic appeal. The idea that you've got these ancient training. Didn't you watch Daredevil? I mean, come on. We're working with the best here. We have the best tropes. We have the funding that we need to make this happen, and not to mention that it will look great on Go Glass. It'll be terrific.
What about a tag team? That might give me half a chance. I'm not looking like an idiot.
You got a heel and a face.
I'm going to tell you. I'm completely okay with that. My only problem is that I can't make it a tag team as a result of the roll unless I roll well enough to add a stipulation. So what I can do is I can make my roll, and then you can spend heat if I don't roll well enough. Rather you can spend momentum to make it into a tag match. So let's see how I roll.
Yep.
All right, so I rolled a 9, which on my move. All right, sweet. I think what we're gonna do. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and spend one momentum to push that up to a 10 plus, which lets me book the finish.
Okay.
And going to gain 1 heat with Randy as the result of this.
Okay.
And then I am happy to turn this into a tag match, by golly. So that's what I'm going to do, but I actually have to spend. Wait, can I add a stipulation because I'm a heel?
Yeah.
Is that a heel move?
Well, at the point where we're here, I'm going to let that say, given the setup, you can do that.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and say that it is a tag match if I can do that, and we'll just go on out and join them into what's already going on if he wants.
Yeah, it's when I make it into a guillotine death match that we'll add another stipulation on top of the stipulation.
So let me describe what's set up for you, Dingo. We'll have you do your entrance, and then we'll bring these other guys in. How's that sound?
Okay, so this is going to be a belt match and a tag team match?
It's going to be a tag team belt match.
Okay,
Nice.
cool. So, but is there still just one belt?
They're not going to put the DM belt on because they want to save that for the pay-per-view, but they'll be willing to put the tag team belt on the line here.
The tag team belt. Okay, cool. All right, I've got an entrance for this.
All right.
I think that like Dingo is like really, really like nervous about this because it seems like just a terrible idea. But the like technical directors have like just come up with like a crazy string of these entrances for him. Like we saw him like come down on a vine last time, and we saw him like get launched on this like this trap looking alligator as he flies into the ring. So they've got like. They're like, this is going to be great. Just go for it. Hopefully nothing bad happens. Like, and he's looking at the contraption. He's like, I'm supposed to ride this down so it's sturdy enough to fall down onto the mat, but then I'm going to be able to tear it in half. They're like, yep, it's going to work. It's going to work.
Not a problem. Union guy says it's cool.
So should I roll it before it happens or just do it?
So this is you. This will be you working the audience, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Then roll with your audience and describe what it looks like based on your result.
You just get injured.
Probably. Let's see. 3 plus look, right?
Yep. No, plus audience.
Plus audience. Oh, well, that's a 6. I'll spend 1 to put that over.
Okay.
So I don't get hurt.
So you can either gain a momentum or you start in control of the match we're about to do.
I'll gain a momentum.
Okay.
Put me back up to 3.
So what does this look like when it doesn't come down quite as great as they wanted it to?
So
From up there.
from up there, you see like it's a shark, and it comes like sailing down towards the stage on like 2 flimsy little cords, and he's just like trying to maintain his balance because it's only 2 cords. And then like one of the cords snaps, and it he tumbles down and like grabs onto it for dear life, but manages to like tumble like up onto his feet where he has it, and then he tears it in half, and like the belt falls out. And he like holds up the belt, and it says like the team belt. He looks really confused, and like the camera like zooms in on that. But
all right. And Dreamboat Alex, this is a heel turn for him. He's normally a face, but he's angry at what has happened, and he'll come out there, and he gets over when you land, and he will untie the wallaby, and kind of puts it down, and he has a gaggle of hot chicks, TM, that spelled with an X, that hold on to the wallaby, and you'll see the wallaby is okay with that, essentially off there. But Dreamboat's there. His outfit is darker colors now. He's got instead of sort of the colorful shades, he's got black shades on, and he's still got his long, blonde, beautiful locks, mullet back there. And then who comes out next to join? Is it you two, Randy and the Gauntlet simultaneously, or do one of you come first?
Randy's got to come separately, or rather, Gauntlet's got to come separately. So I can go before or after, either way.
I can go now if you want. I think I'm kind of ready for my entrance. Okay, so it goes dark, and then there's a lone silhouette of like someone standing in a coat and a tricorn hat, leaning heavily on a crutch. Drums are drumming. A mournful pipe being played, and then it all stops as the crowd are ready. And the light comes on, and the person wearing carrying the crutch and the tricorn hat, and like a classic sort of 17th century eye kind of thing is Randy Burns, right? And he kind of looks. He's got a steely look in his eye, and he sort of does a couple of like Willy Wonka kind of hobbling, and then he kind of throws the crutch away and charges into the ring and dives underneath the.
And just to compliment it, unless the Gauntlet wants it, I assume you'll have the other belt in your hand of the tag team belt.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Sound okay?
Yeah. I'll be wearing the jacket, and underneath the jacket is that I'm kind of got the belt.
Okay, yeah. That is up for grabs here.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wear it until I've got it right, so I'll carry it.
So, Dingo, how do you react to this guy coming in to help you?
Yeah, I think I just like play it up. Like whenever he gets close and he's like doing the stumble fall, I like reach out, but then he comes running in, and then I'll like grab his hands and help him like high fly up onto into the ring.
Yeah.
And the Walter Wallaby is just like one of those Goomba Loompas from before, but we wanted to retain his services. We felt we owed it to him, so we dressed him up in a little Walter Wallaby outfit. And I think he's just like hanging out with the hot chicks. He's like, yeah. He just kind of shrugs. He's like, sorry.
Can I just grab a momentum by mugging to my fans by throwing my tricorn hat into the crowd?
Yes, for cheap heat.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, because you can't work the audience anymore this session.
Yeah.
Because you're botched. So you'll get the cheap heat off of that. And there's that kind of triumphant music that's going. Everybody's all excited. And Gauntlet.
So this is actually technically pre-tape, but it doesn't look like it. So it goes back to the dirigible, and Gauntlet says, "The Gauntlet alone determines who gets the belts, who wins, and who is gone." And then he pulls on a hood, and it switches to Go Glass vision, and someone goes to the door of the dirigible and jumps out. And you can see a parachute open, and this person comes down, and the parachute actually has an American flag, but it's got like the symbol of his gauntlet holding the massive orb of power, like over top of the flag. And so the figure like piles the parachute down to the stage, and when it lands, it's covered in parachutes, so you can't see Gauntlet actually roll in and take the place of the stunt guy. And so he tears it off, and he's got his gauntlet, and he's just standing there, and he holds up his gauntlet looking very intimidating, as he is wont to do.
Awesome. So we're in an open air arena. So you come down into that. Let's have you work the audience, I think, with that, and hope you don't botch.
I also get 2 momentum because I'm in a match I booked.
Yes.
So I got a 12.
That's another 2 momentum. The crowd love it. They are loving it. You've interrupted them, and Dreamboat Alex looks at you, and he's like, "Yeah."
Oh, I forgot his music. There you go.
Okay.
Long live the chief.
So you come down. So who is the legal wrestler between Dingo and Randy?
I'll kick it off.
All right. And who is the legal wrestler between you and Dreamboat?
I feel like Dreamboat really, really wants it, and so he's going to start off in the ring, and Gauntlet's going to stand actually up on the rope with his arms crossed, very M. Bison floating in the air over in the corner.
Okay. So Dingo, this guy's good 6'4". He's built. And he's usually, when he does his face roll, he's usually a little more athletic, a little more bouncing around, doing the high flyer stuff. But now he's a heel, and he just kind of comes in rough and ready. He goes essentially to elbow, shoulder, hit you, and get you into the corner, and just it's pounding on you until the ref pulls him back and breaks it up, and he'll go to the ref and then kind of turn around and give you an open hand slap on the chest, and kind of step back and shakes his hands like this is nothing. And you have control of the match because he's an NPW now. So what do you want to do? Matt, will you announce?
Sure thing.
Okay.
Billy Fashion's here from Montreal in a chaotic situation in Gauntlet Wrestling. Let's go to the ring.
Cool. So so like he's like clearly just like he's borderline breaking kayfabe here. Like he just wants to like win over this, and wants to like win because he's been here long or whatever. And I'm just like, if that's the way he really wants to play it, I guess that's the way we have to play it. So I'm just gonna have to work this guy until I can get him down, but I'm gonna do my best to not break kayfabe.
Okay.
So I'm like kind of recovering from like him actually hitting me a bit, and I'll just like climb up on the ropes and just try and come down on him pretty stiff, like jumping off the ropes and kind of doing like a flip up onto his chest to try and topple him backwards.
Awesome. So go ahead and roll. I think at work is what it would be.
Work. Okay. So work's 0-6. I'll bump it up.
Okay.
And I'll take the momentum and pass just to keep that neutral.
All right. So you'll do that and hit him, and it'll take a little bit, and he'll step back, and then he'll come in, take you down, essentially knock you down, and then he grabs your arm and he starts working the arm like hard. No, just kind of hit until you're kind of a little bit staggered, and then he'll let you catch your breath, and he grabs you up, flips you around, and goes to do a power slam on you.
Way too early to be coming up off the top rope against a competitor the likes of the Dreamboat. They don't call them high-risk maneuvers for nothing.
And drops you down with that power slam, kind of leaves you in the ring, and he'll go over to tag you, Gauntlet.
Sweet.
Does it casually.
There
There you go, boss.
So Gauntlet will accept the tag, and currently we have Dingo sprawled from being knocked flat, right?
Yep.
So maniacal laugh, and since he's down for a moment, what's going to happen is the Gauntlet is going to actually climb up even higher on the rope and go for a high risk maneuver. Because he's heard that those sell, and he's going to actually going to try and just leap onto Dingo, and it's unlikely to be pretty, but he's just trying to do a basic frog splash on top of him.
Let's have you roll work. Right?
But I suck at work. I sometimes like to roll things I suck at.
Makes sense.
So I rolled a 4.
You've got some momentum.
I do. This time I kind of feel like I deserve to do poorly. Let's have a look here. Oh, it's not in the basic moves. Oh, it's in match moves.
Sorry.
Silly me. All right. Oh no, I'm happy to give him momentum and let him take the match.
Okay.
Yeah, no, because I kind of want to see Dingo do better. So.
Oh, announcer.
Yeah, that just goes to show that you might be the boss, but you cannot buy a pretty frog splash.
So I give one momentum to the Dingo, and Dingo takes control.
Yeah, I think like I see you coming, and I just like roll out of the way, so you frog splash a miss. So you just frog splashed on canvas. Probably doesn't feel too good. And I like when you frog splash, and I've just rolled out of the way, I roll back over like up onto so I'm on your back. And I did this in a previous match where I just like grabbed a fistful of hair and just started like, smacking his face against the canvas. And this is like, you've got to work with me on this. I'm like whispering to him, like, just make it look like it hurts. Just make it look like it hurts.
It does.
And you could say that the Dingo has thrown down the gauntlet.
Oh.
So not only does he work with you on it, he actually, because he's got the broadcast camera in his monocle, like the camera actually just shows the camera, so that goes up on the Titantron.
Yeah, and then they're putting like a little like cracked screen image, like so it looks like in there. So what do we think we're rolling here? This is like probably, you think this is heat or look or what?
I like heat with this. I think heat's good because you really are working together.
Okay. Do we have any heat together? Let's see.
I'm a heel, so you'll have +1.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll have at least one. The gauntlet. I've got 2 with the gauntlet. That's great because that gets me to a 7. I will retain control in lieu of the momentum.
All right.
And I like after like I'll do like a big like last like smack down, but I've got like my hand on his forehead so his nose doesn't actually like connect with canvas or anything, and that way I can like do it as hard as I want, and you'll hear that real distinct pop. And then I'll get up and I'll like just leave him like laying there, and I'll tag Randy in.
All right. We'll go ahead and we're doing this just casual. You're leaving him there.
I'm just leaving him there.
Okay, then we won't do a hot tag. It's just that Randy gets in then. Again, much like Dreamboat letting the Gauntlet walk in casual, Randy comes in casual.
Yeah. So he's lying face up, and I kind of just kind of step under the ropes. I'm gonna grab him by the hair, pick him up by the hair, kind of thing. And I'm gonna just I'm gonna do a couple of elbows to him. Bosh.
I think I'm actually going to heel move you real quick.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm getting properly heel moved today.
Well, this is a heel move that is fairly classic because he does it for the camera, and so you start elbowing him, and then the Gauntlet kind of goes back with his fingers open and brings it up, and just kind of claw gauntlets your crotch. And all I'm actually doing, he's not actually trying to hurt you. I'm just gaining +1 heat. Okay. Doing something that appears to be terrible and evil and et cetera. Yeah. I can also spend 1 more to take control of the match that way.
Do you want to?
Yeah, I think I will.
Okay. Announcer?
All right. And the Gauntlet reaches down, and the boss won't have to worry about his birth control coverage anymore.
So I'm sort of bent over, double, like holding my stomach, like I wave my hand out to try and get him to stop, kind of thing.
All right. What happens next, Gauntlet?
The Gauntlet is trying to recover, and so he's holding up his hand, and the Gauntlet like screams, "No mercy!" And then he throws Revolutionary Randy Burns towards the ropes, and then Randy Burns comes back, and Gauntlet comes back with his fist, but Randy Burns, calling on his ninja training, actually catches the fist and pushes Gauntlet back to the ground, and he's about to fall over when Gauntlet goes for the classic sweep the leg to bring Randy down to the mat with him.
Yeah, okay.
And then goes up for getting on top of him and going for the series of sitting punches.
Does that seem like heat? You're kind of working in tight there?
As long as Randy's for it.
You good with that?
Yeah. I'm just trying to work out. I've been trying to work out this face move to see how you could work it in, really. I think it has to be a bit more subtle, doesn't it? Other than just saying the standing up to what you believe in bit.
Well, you believe in fair play. You believe
So that's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to think is whether I can kind of work that in, but it would involve interrupting as well, though, wouldn't it? So
no, you can always it costs 2 momentum because it is an eruption.
Okay, so he's like basically taking advantage. I'm like playing up the sort of the fact that I've still can hardly see, and I'm like the rain, the punches is coming down, and then like basically I think I quite like the fist grabbing, so I grab both fists this time, right? In a kind of like a mercy game, so like I'm pushing his fists back so I can kind of get up, like Ultimate Warrior style, and kind of I'm sort of push, and so I sort of overcome him. So I'm going to spend my 2 momentum to kind of swing it round, kind of to bring back the sort of fair play element back from the boss, which I'll do now. Can I gain a heat with him as well?
Yeah, absolutely. That's you do that. You demonstrate fair play that you can overcome this villain, and that you're willing to stand up to him. Yeah, he's got kind of Britishy, revolutionary, steampunky garb on. So your revolution thing works here with this. Yeah, and you can gain a heat with him.
Yeah, cool. Okay, and then I basically swing him towards the rope. And as he kind of bounces back, I do like a flying kick on him, to kind of knock him back down again.
Okay.
And this is the type of action you've come to expect from Gauntlet Wrestling. He might be the boss, but he's no Shane McMahon, and he's laying into Randy Burns. However, even though they might be scrambled, Burns is showing some huevos and bringing it back to the boss.
Yeah, nice. Okay, and then I sort of roll around looking like I've been really injured, right, from the terrible heelish cheating, and kind of roll towards the dingo to tag him back in again.
Okay.
So that seems like a hot tag there.
Yeah, unless you don't want to, of course.
Roll your heat with him.
For such a brilliant tag team, we have 0 heat with each other. It's quite amazing. Still. Right. Oh, that's 3. Ugh. See what hot tag means.
All right. So Gauntlet, how do you interrupt when he goes to do the hot tag here?
And tag my partner also, but if I'm interrupting instead, that's fine too.
Well, actually, yeah, we can do that. They'll give you a momentum. No. You can roll the hot tag on your partner, and say that he comes in. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to do the classic double tag.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your hot tag with Dreamboat.
All right, so I rolled really poorly. Does Dreamboat still count as a face, or is he a heel now?
He was a face at start, so you have +1 heat.
Okay, so I have a 5 with him, but I'm just gonna spend the 2 to get it up to a 7 for the hot tag on him.
Okay, so it doesn't look terrible. So Dreamboat's out there. It's kind of a messy tag for getting Dingo in.
Okay. So I do it though. I make it before Dreamboat kind of drags.
Yeah, let's say that makes sense in terms of the back and forth there.
Mm-hmm.
He is ready to whoop Aussie ass.
So who
the
has
Rocky Road Express versus the Midnights? This is not. Somebody play the sad didgeridoo.
He's got control, and he's going to come at you. And he essentially knocks you back, and it looks like he's trying to get you held and get you into a DDT. He wants to grab you. He's trying to get your head under his arm, and essentially he just wants to drop you back. He wants a nice hard hit. So does that probably drops you down, and then he's probably going to try and roll you over. Put your shoulders on the mat, get like a 2 count before you break out, and you have control now.
Okay, so he's trying to get me down like that, and I I managed to get one foot way back, and then I climb it up over his shoulder and put the other leg around his waist, lock them together, and can tumble him like that. It's much more MMA than wrestling, but it's like anything goes at this point.
All right.
So I flop him like that. That's probably, I don't know. What do you think? Work?
That's work.
I'll spend the momentum to put it over. Pretty sure that second dice is just locked on 1 for me today. I don't think it's been anything but 1 all day long.
Do you want control or momentum?
I'm going to keep control.
Okay.
So I managed to topple him, and I'm like leaning down real close because I've still got my legs wrapped around him, one over his shoulder, one around his waist, and I'm leaning way in. There's no way anyone can hear us or anything, and I'm like, Dreamboat, we got to make a match out of this. I don't want this to be an MMA fight, but that's what it's turning into. Do you know anything about that and what I could do to you from this position right now?
Are you threatening me, jackass?
I'm telling you, I could really, really hurt you, and that's not what I'm here for.
Let me ask the Gauntlet. What's the finish to this match? Because as the boss, you get to book it.
Let me ask you, our pay-per-view is the next session,
yes,
right?
Yes, it is. Next week.
Okay, so in that case, the heels have to win because the heroes win pay-per-views. So currently, it's the Gauntlet and Dreamboat are booked to win.
Okay. So, and how is that going to be? What's the finish for it? Is it you pinning, or who's in the ring for the finish?
I think what's going to be Dingo's really hot, so I kind of want him in the ring. So I think it's probably Gauntlet and Dingo.
Okay.
Dreamboat's good, but he's not hot. No money.
So Dingo, he'll push off from you, and kind of you clearly held him and hurt him, and he's crawling over to tag the Gauntlet. And he'll just tag you, Gauntlet.
All right.
So I think that you come in, but I think the Dingo still has control until you want to go for the finisher here.
Sure.
So Dingo, what happens?
Right. So like the way that situation resolved is like he wasn't backing down, so I think I just dislocated his arm and let him crawl away. So
he's literally crawling away.
Like it's so subtle, like the audience can't even see that I did it because like that's what happens in that kind of fight. But like he crawls away and the Gauntlet comes in and I like quickly like get up to the Gauntlet and I get him in a suplex and like with his help like we like do the full maneuver. But like as like I've got him right here and our faces are near each other, I'm like you're booked to win this one, right? Let's just wrap this up. That Dreamboat guy's crazy.
I'm like, crazy puts butts in seats.
Yeah, and then we slam your head down.
All right. Well, I'm actually happy to a heel move.
Okay.
Which is he slams my head down and then Dreamboat comes in distracting the ref, and what happens is that Gauntlet actually turns around and he grabs Randy Burns by the bandages and by the pants and just throws him at Dingo and flattens both of them. And I'm using the heel move to actually grab because I want to get to 4 heat with Revolutionary Randy Bird. So I'm doing it that way. And then while there's just a train wreck, go ahead and grab the finishing win with my trademark cocky pin because I don't roll for finisher anyway.
Right. So Randy, you come over. Do you sell it, do you think? You're muted.
I keep muting myself, double muting. Yeah, I do it. Yeah, I basically, I'm definitely not happy with the boss right now. Okay. He's really used to me for his own ends, but I do it. Yeah.
Throws you over. Dingo, tell me, how do you make this guy? He's not very good at this. How do you make the Gauntlet's pinning of you look good?
Like I think I just like really make it very theatrical. Like I have no control and I'm in so much pain and oh my gosh, like he's really got me here, guys. He's really got me.
and that will end. If anybody had 4 heat with another one of the wrestlers you were in the match with, you get an extra audience. I think that's just you, Gauntlet, right?
Yeah.
I really wanted other people to get it too.
It's happened 3 times in a row now. I've got to 3 heat and not quite got it over.
I tried.
It's okay.
So what does that put your audience at, Gauntlet? 2?
Well, it actually would put it at a 3. However, because somebody in a match that I booked gained an audience, I gained an additional audience. So I actually go to a 4.
Okay, so you are over. So you're at the 4 right now. I need to take about a 5-minute break before we go to kind of
Let me
the
call the end of that match.
pardon.
So it looks like there's a lack of chemistry between these two partners, and with the boss involved, we have to wonder if that's intentional or not. There's a controversial finish that's sure to sow dissension between these two competitors. And why did the Wallaby not get involved? Some say he's not qualified.
Oh,
Genius.
oh my God,
Genius.
that is awesome. All right, give me 5 minutes to get some more coffee and parch my throat, and we'll go to the top of the card match. Okay, we'll do some sequences. It's really interesting when you get all of these moves that do the booking changes and book stuff. It is trying to hold everything together. It's really interesting.
Yeah. Well, normally players, I feel like normally they work to help actually do that.
Mhm.
That has not been my experience with Gauntlet League Wrestling, but that actually plays into the tags pretty well. So,
Yeah.
which is the other reason, like when I do stuff, like we have all the tags for Gauntlet to do whatever the heck he wants. There's no real limit of money or theatricality for him. So,
And one of the things I think is also that happens because we do have that changing roster. It has a real impact on heat. It has a real impact on audience, and I think also on the dynamics between the characters.
yep. I think that's all right. So specific to the boss, I was saying earlier, like when I make matches, it always makes more sense for me to book matches with player characters, which I think is on purpose because player characters are generally more interesting. But it makes it a little bit tricky because we also the NPWs are kind of the glue that holds together Gauntlet League Wrestling. I have mechanical incentive not to involve them, but I keep bringing them anyway for narrative reasons.
Well, and it makes sense.
I really did want him to have. I wanted Edwin to get through the 4 heat. I tried.
team. All right, so we got the tag team belt, we got the DM, and the MC belt. Okay.
The other thing I realized is that it always, once you take the +2 momentum move for a boss, it always makes sense to book yourself into a match. And ideally, you want a tag team match because it doesn't matter who gains audience. You just want someone to end the match and gain audience, because then I also gain it. And if I can get my heat to 4 with someone, I will gain 2 audience. And that is the magic. That is the boss.
That's interesting mechanics there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Speaking
my
of
throat
mechanics,
got. Pardon?
Something dawned on me during that last match.
Sure.
With the putting over mechanic for the announcer, there should also be a burying mechanic.
That's interesting.
That is not a bad point.
Yeah.
You know, I can just think back to like matches on Nitro where like Juventud and Dean Malenko are tearing the house down, and the announcers are just talking about the upcoming match between Lex Luger and Scott Norton the whole time. You know, like
I think the veteran has a move called bury 'em, I think.
Yeah.
But I also, having played this game a fair amount, when the announcer chooses not to put you over and you're really kind of desperate for them to do it, it feels a little like being buried.
It would be interesting if people could take a move that they could make themselves the guest announcer and then get like a bury someone.
yeah,
Yep.
And it would create heat then.
yeah. I like my announcer character that I've crafted over all the times we've played. But I'm thinking like if this was like real wrestling, there would be times maybe where the Padishah announces one match, of somebody he's got heat with,
Yeah.
as the color guy,
You can do it. The first one I ever did with Nathan, my wrestler character, was actually the guest announcer. Wasn't even booked to wrestle. So the only thing I rolled for was a run-in move when someone finally upset me at the end, and I officially entered into the tournament by ripping off my shirt and revealing I was wearing my singlet underneath.
All right. So let me tell you what the sort of the top of the card match is. And then if anybody wants to cut any sequences, on screen or off screen backstage, we can do that. The top of the card right now is Bleakwood versus Skunk Ape. In that big monster versus monster showdown there. So that is what is coming up. So let me ask the wrestlers who aren't involved with that if there's anything that you want to cut. Let's start with you, Dingo.
Like I wouldn't mind having like a conversation with Wolf Backhouse as they're like trundling Dreamboat on like a trolley to like get his arm back in his socket and get some ice on it.
And Wolf's back there. He is looking at the numbers and he looks disappointed. And he's talking to somebody about how you clean poutine off a mat. And he'll turn, hey, that was pretty good.
Like, that was not good. What do you mean that was good? Like, sure, we managed to finish her, but this guy's in here. He this guy used to be a wrestler. Now he wants to try an MMA fight. Like, makes me have to do things like that. I don't think the audience really was digging it, were they? I kind of like grabbed the numbers from him and
look. You got hot real quick with this Dingo thing. I mean, last week was on fire. The boards were hot that last week. Things were up. And I don't know if you know this, but one of the Japanese wrestling online sites, they did a big expose about the Gauntlet. And I think they talked to Harbinger and some other people who were pissed, and they were talking trash. And so Dreamboat was upset. He hasn't gotten the belt in a long time, and there's new people coming up. So I hope you'll bear with him.
I mean, I'll bear with him if he wants to be a wrestler and we book it. Like, this is more of a show than anything. I'm not here to fight. Like, I'm here to make it look like I'm fighting.
Look, how about this? Next week, pay-per-view, we'll get you a belt.
I don't. That's fine. I don't. That'd be great. I'm not that worried about the belt. Just get me in there with a wrestler who wants to put on a good show. Yeah, Gauntlet. If you want to come in, you can.
Yeah. So Gauntlet's gonna roll in. Are you on camera? This is off camera, right?
This is off camera.
Yeah, he's going to be like, wow, that went really well. That was terrific. Look, I love that you actually we're okay with the finish there. I know things have gotten a little bit hot, but the numbers are really proving that everything's going our way. And as long as you're willing to toe the line, I'm willing to keep on supporting your desire to affect marketing decisions, which are technically not in your control. But if you're willing to toe the line, by God, I'll support you. I want to hold the authority against you because I am telling you nay or else.
And how does that move work?
When you dress someone down, punish them, or exercise your authority over them, roll plus look.
Okay.
So that will be a 9.
Okay.
Sadly, I'm out of momentum. 7 and 9, pick one. Add a stipulation to an upcoming match they're in. Add them to an announced match. Gain 2 momentum. So I don't especially even want the momentum. I am happy enough to add them to a match next week. David, are you going to play next time?
I'm pretty sure I am.
Yep,
Yeah.
you are in for the pay-per-view.
All right. So I think what I'm going to say is like the tag team match. It satisfies Dreamboat. That's not the one you want. You want your belt back. So I'm saying we make it a 3-way match, and we give you a shot at the belt. That's your shot. That's what you get.
Like, who is this? Like, Wolf? Does this guy even get it? Like, I don't care about the belt. Does he even get it?
And Wolf will turn to you and go, that's great. Thank you, Tom. That's awesome. Really glad to have you on board.
I'm sorry. I thought you were here because it was a job. Do you not want your job? Because that could be arranged too.
That's not what he's saying, Tom.
Does he think this is all real? Does he think like we're really out there fighting? Is that what he thinks?
I think
Listen,
belts move merch.
You two, I'll talk to Dreamboat. I'll make sure he knows that there was a problem there, and maybe I'll even get him to apologize to you. Okay?
Like, just have him when he calms down, have him have a conversation with me that, like, if we can have some offstage time, I think we could really work something out there. But if he's actually into this fighting, like, I can't be in the match with him again.
Okay. Got it. And he'll look to you to see if that's cool, Gauntlet.
Gauntlet's gonna go. Look, I'm all right with it this time, but I'll put it flatly. We can't be taking orders from employees. If he wants out, I'll release him from contract.
If you're turning this into an MMA match, yeah, I want out. But it seems like you're doing a strange hybrid thing. Just if we could keep me in the matches that are more about the show and less about hurting people, I'd really appreciate it.
All right.
And he'll nod and walk back. Also, kind of wait for Gauntlet to walk away, and he'll go. I'm gonna have to do something to that fucker. As he looks at you, Dingo.
I'm like, yeah, you, me, and the Padishaw, get him in a back room. That's what I'm saying.
He'll go. I got to get the numbers and get the next match set up.
All right, you take care of that. Thanks. You're always taking care of me. Thanks.
I'll take care of you. What about you, Randy?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could do like an interview with Vicky or something, post interview.
Okay.
I'm looking pretty beaten up.
Yeah, and Victoria Onyx is back there. They're bandaging you. You're sitting on the gurney. They've got medics. There's all kinds of stuff. They've got a monitor hooked up to you. And she comes over. She goes, Randy, how are you doing?
I tell you, Vicky, I've been better. The burns have been better. I'm covered in burns. The burns is in burns.
Oh yeah, I see what you did there. Yes.
Yeah. It's a terrible state of affairs when the boss comes down and makes dirty moves on his own wrestlers, beating them down, kicking them down, gouging their eyes. I think I remember that. I tell you, there will be a revolution in this promotion. There will be a turning point where we take back control, and the Burns brothers will be returning to be burning in the sky like bright stars. We will return to take the tag team belt.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Are you saying that the Gauntlet has violated the rules of wrestling? That seemed like a stern accusation.
You look at the replays, Vicky. You'll see yourself. He is one dirty player. How many times has he invited himself down to the ring to mess with his wrestlers?
All right. Well, thank you, Randy. Is there anything else you want to share with the audience?
I'll be back. I'm healing up. Don't you worry, revolutionaries. Revolution.
Awesome. And they'll roll you away off to the medics. The doctors kind of get you need to rest now, sir. So Padishaw and Bleakwood, we've got a big top of the card match. Do you want to cut a promo or work the audience before we go to this?
I'll probably cut a promo.
Okay, so let's start with that then.
So we go back out to deepest, darkest heart of Montreal, and we're out in the woods again. And I think we see, because I'm still a provocateur, and I'm feeling a little like kind of like I need to really take ownership of this new sort of quasi gimmick that I'm doing. And so I now have all of my, so I'm out there with all the cultists, but this time the cultists are all wearing the pointy hoods like I am. Okay. And so we're all, and they're all red. So we have these like red, like, you know, sort of like very, very like Gothic looking, scary, you know, medievalish, you know, like hoods. And you distinguish me because I'm only wearing pants and the hood. Everybody else is wearing like a robe, right? That's how you know who's who. And we are standing in the middle of a semicircle of crosses upon which have been hung mannequins made up to look like my old enemies in GLW. All right. So we have like a Wally Winka. There's a mannequin made up to look like Wally Winka. There's a mannequin made up to look like the Terminator knockoff. There's a mannequin made up to look like El Toro. I don't even know if El Toro is still in the promotion. It doesn't matter for our purposes. And several more, right? But there are importantly, there are two empty crosses. Okay, there are two empty ones, and I'm stalking around the camera's following me as I you know, survey my work, right? And I say, Mother Bleakwood, all those years ago when you gave me Clarabelle, I thought it was to comfort me. I thought that Clarabelle was a source of strength, but I realize now that she was suppressing me, that she was holding back my real power. And now I intend to show the world what you have tried to keep hidden. And I go to the empty cross, and I say, Skunk Beast, this is for you. And I go to the other cross. Mother Bleakwood, This is for you.
Ooh.
And then I go, there's a third cross. Fuck it. There's more crosses.
Okay. Somebody's setting it up even as you
Right. Like it just goes into frame. Padishah. This is for you. And then there's like one in the center. And I say, stand the percolator Steiger. Once I claim the championship belt, you, next week at the pay-per-view, this will be for you. And I raise up my hands, and all the ones that have people on them light up on fire, just burning crosses out in the middle of the forest. And that's it. That's my promo.
I'm sure the burning crosses and the pointy hoods is a great combo. Wolf will probably talk to you about that afterwards.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Jeffrey always tries to get away with shit like this.
Let's have you roll look. Yeah.
Right. Well, okay, so my look is good, so that helps a lot. That makes it 8. Fuck it, I'm gonna put it over to 10.
Okay. So you get a momentum, and do you want creative to book you in a championship match against
With
Percolator next
Sandsteiger.
week?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, with Percolator. That's what I want.
Perfect. All right. What is your response to that sinister promo?
I would say I think he's old school, so you just hear the blaring strains of a Largo El Factotum start coming from the speakers in the house, and the Padishah is making his way to the ring, and he's kind of pointing at the Titantron, gesturing like, what the hell was that? What did we just look at? And he's walking to the ring where people have their hands on the railings. He's like rapping knuckles with his cane as he's walking by. He's spraying the atomizer at the crowd, And he gets to the ring and takes a microphone, because that's how he does his promo. It's none of this production value stuff. He says, once again, we are treated to some bizarre spectacle. The spectacle that you see delivered by my skunk ape will take place here in this very ring. And I want to address you people. He's working the audience now.
Okay.
I have heard the complaints about the treatment of my skunk ape, this vile, invidious lies, this perfidy on the part of you people. You say you will report me to the ASPCA, and I say I will hear none of this. You say it is cruel to feed a man garbage. That may be true, but the Padishah's garbage costs more than your grocery budget. And he is just, again, old school, going off on the crowd.
Okay.
So
roll with your audience.
Plus audience, right? Dice. This dice tool sucks. Have I said that before?
Yes.
So that is a 9.
That is a 9. So
I think I've rolled the same pair of numbers every time I've rolled in this game.
that's bizarre. So you'll gain a momentum on that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The audience is kind of into it. They're booing. They're throwing stuff out. The skunk ape is coming, and then you'll also see behind the skunk ape is Lady Bleakwood, I assume.
Of course.
Maybe the Beauty and the Beast. Maybe she has him on a chain with a collar.
I like that. Yes, we're going to do that.
Bringing him down to there. So that's your entrance. You're there waiting. So Jason, Edwin, Dave, feel free to announce during this next match, or if you're going to do other things, cut-ins, feel free to jump to that. Let's though have. I want to hear.
One thing before we start, somebody had asked before what the skunk ape looked like.
Oh, yeah.
I sent you a picture I had put together, or I don't know if I can drop it in here and people can see it or not.
Let me download that. And let me see. Cancel. Let me see. Oh, where's the share an image thing on this? Can I even do that anymore? Oh.
You can if it's in your Google Drive.
Oh, screen share. Let me pull it up on this other one here. Download. Okay. I'm going to screen share this and hopefully it'll work. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's the Padishaw standing beside the skunk ape. Is that the City of Heroes Hero Maker, or is that?
That's Champions Online.
Okay.
I think it's just tremendous. I use that for like every game I play.
That's awesome. All right. All right. So, Jeffrey, tell us about your new entrance.
Okay, so this one took some convincing, and I may not have even fully convinced Wolf yet about this. I've already done the sort of wink wink clan thing, all right, on camera. So the next thing is, so you guys know that, have you ever seen the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? You know how that final sequence is just the heroine just screaming. She's just screaming for 20 sustained minutes throughout the end of that movie, and it just never, it's just a constant screaming. The scenes shift, it's just screaming. It's just that. And so there's just a screaming coming out over the arena thing, and it just keeps going and going. 2 or 3 minutes pass, and it's still just this sustained screaming in the audience, and everyone's stopped. I think the audience is just getting a little nervous and uncomfortable at this point. I'm back there with Wolf, and I'm like,
can you go?
I'm like, no, I'm not. 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. They're gonna be. Wolf, just wait. It's a psychological thing, Wolf. I'm getting them in the right headspace here. Okay, they need to be terrified of Jeffrey Bleakwood.
They're leaving.
Just hold on. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. We've still got 10 more minutes of airtime.
No.
I'm looking, and I see that someone in the audience near the ramp is starting to cry. I'm like, okay, good, that'll do. And so
wait before you go out. Don't lick any kids.
No. I'm past all that. All right. So, and then the screaming just continues, and and then I just come out, and I just walk down the ramp and up to the ring. No pyrotechnics or flashy stuff. Just me, accompanied by this like chorus of like terrified screams that have been going on for about 5 or 6 minutes at this point. And the audience is completely quiet and completely like, it's a very somber thing. And then I get in the ring with Skunk Ape.
All right. Skunk Ape, a massive beast. He is up there. He looks to Padishaw for instruction.
And the Padishaw kind of climbs on the rope, and standing on the rope, Padishaw's about as tall as Skunk Ape, and he's just hitting him on the back of the head and shoulders with his cane, and like pointing at Bleakwood and going ape best hit on him.
Okay. And he'll come at you. Bleakwood, you have control of the match to start as this giant ape thing comes towards you.
I just run forward with a clothesline. Try to take him down.
Okay. Okay. And you're just going to do is it like a good straight shot there?
Yeah, I think like I just see him and I just run forward and just try to like clothesline him. And then I don't know if we want to keep that going or not, but I think I'll just I'll like clothesline him, and then I'll just like start kicking him, just start stomping him.
Oh, okay. So you think you want to do that with power, or
no? I think it's work.
Okay, sure. Let's have you roll work.
It feels more like work. 7. That's just a 7.
Okay. Do you want to keep control, or do you want to gain a momentum?
I'll gain a momentum. He can have control.
Then Skunk Ape comes up. Matt, do you want to describe how Skunk Ape responds to this?
Well, Skunk Ape, he's big and he's massive, so that clothesline it might stagger him, but he's got to be kind of like chopped down, right? Like, and again, he's big, he's dumb, he's just kind of standing there absorbing all that punishment, slowly growing like woozier until he falls.
So he takes all the hits. He falls. And do you pass control back then, or does Skunk Ape rise again?
I get momentum for passing it back.
Well, he's an NPW, so essentially you're just telling me what's going on. If you have any manager roles that can affect here.
Now we'll just pass it back.
Okay. So he's there, sir.
So he's so just to be clear, like he's on the ground now, or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
You kind of chopped him and he's fallen.
Right. Yeah. So I think I'm going to pick up Skunk Ape and I'm going to immediately go for the crucifixion straight away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, going for the crucifixion.
So just a good solid work, you think there?
It's my signature move. So
yeah. Okay. So the look is fine.
Yeah. Because I don't think it actually hurts. Like I don't think there's any actual athleticism involved here. It's just, but Skunk Ape, you make it look painful is the idea. So, if you were to actually try this move at home, you would discover that there's nothing actually painful about it. 10. 10. So, do you want 2 momentum, or do you want another heat with Padishah? Oh, let me check my heat. I think I'm okay on the heat right now. I've got tons of audience. So I'll take 2 momentum.
Okay. You still have control of the match. He's crying out like a wounded beast, as you're doing the crucifixion there.
And I think
what you're learning is the skunk beast, because he doesn't even understand the rules of wrestling, does not know how to tap out.
So he's like, he doesn't know like how to save himself, right? And so I'm like, it's I'm viewing it as like a powerful feat of like endurance, but in fact like Skunk Beast just does not know, right? And so I think what I'm gonna do instead is once I feel like I've got Skunk Ape like pretty well subdued from the pain or whatever, then I'm going to we've been working on the pile driver, so I'm gonna put his legs between mine and then lift him up for a pile driver.
Boom. Okay. That sounds like work.
Okay. 3. Not good.
All right. So you'll lose a momentum.
Okay.
And when you go to do that, Skunk Ape is stronger than you, so he'll kind of push you back and throw you off. And he's still a little hurting from the earlier thing, so he runs over to Padishah to try and get out of the ring.
And Padishah starts smacking him across the face, like paintbrushing him with open hand slaps and screaming and pointing.
And he'll in pain he'll come back over and just try and tackle you, Bleakwood. He just wants to get out of here. He is a wounded, abused beast there, and he just wants to pin you.
Okay, so he's trying to pin me right now.
Yeah.
I will. Do I still have control of the match or no?
Yeah, I'm passing control back to you.
Okay.
I
think I do the hellfire on him. I do the flash powder right in his face, just to pow. So
okay.
do that business. My other signature move. Oops, I'm clicking the wrong thing. Oh yeah, that's like a 14.
So 2 momentum or heat there.
I'll take 2 momentum again.
Okay. What's the reaction from the announce table?
We have the most amazing thing that you've ever seen. I'm Timmy, the Terror Tahini, and here we have the forces of the earth swelling up to try and overthrow the supernatural domination of the Bleakwoods, or more specifically, Jeffrey Bleakwood, the young scion who's come to see. Oh my God! Oh, he set him on fire. This is horrific. Oh, the inhumanity.
Nice.
And you kind of throw him backwards and pushes back on it. The burning hair, polyester smell. and you will see, Jeffrey, that Lady Bleakwood has climbed up into the ring and is like moving to interpose herself between you and Skunk Ape.
So I think I'm gonna get real high drama here. So she's like put herself between, and she's wearing like the veil and stuff too, right? She always looks like funereal, right? So she's there, and I like start to get like a little like I'm in the middle of the ring, and I start to like kind of like shrink my body a little bit, you know, sort of reflexively, because I'm, you know, as if I'm scared of Mother Bleakwood, right? You know, but then like I kind of like look around, you know, I'm kind of like backing up a little bit, you know, and then we hear like I think like back on the ramp, there's like we see like the column of fire like just bursts up, right? The big column of fire back on the ramp, and that gets everybody's attention, and we see that several of my pointy hooded cultists are carrying a crucifix, a big cross, like they're carrying a big cross like up to the ramp and setting it up as if someone's leaving on that thing before this match is over, right? And maybe that causes Lady Bleakwood to get a little, you know, like nervous or whatever, right?
And she's kind of blocking that out, and you're kind of doing your thing to kind of concentrate, and then you'll see her rip off the veil, and Stan the Percolator Steiger gives you a full-on head punch.
Nice.
Knocks you back to the mat.
Oh, nice. Okay, good.
So Percolator's up there, Skunk Ape's in there. The match could be DQ. How do you and the Padishah want to play this?
Well, the Padishah is going to do. The Padishah, when he sees that about to happen, hooks the referee with his cane and pulls him over to start complaining about the interference.
Right.
Yeah, so he's complaining about like the fire and the druids and whatnot, not the Percolator.
The referee's talking to the Padishah. What about you here, Jeffrey? Now you're kind of outnumbered 2-1.
Actually, can I use one of my abilities there?
Sure.
Because I made a move in the best interest of my client to keep the match going.
Okay.
So that lets me. What's that move? It's loyal. I roll a look roll.
Okay.
And that's a 9 + 3, so
Okay.
I'm good to go with that. I get to pick 2 from my list.
Mm-hmm.
I will. I already have I will take +1 momentum,
Okay.
and I will say we can overturn a decision made against my client. So we'll use that to kind of cement that the match is.
There's no DQ.
No DQ. Jeffrey, you're in this arena against a monster and a champion technical wrestler.
Right. Is it possible that Stan brought Clarabelle to you?
Oh, of course. He can, from underneath the funeral, probably tears off the black wedding dress thing and pulls forward, holds out the doll.
Yeah, so he's like holding Clarabelle up, and I think like this is a real important moment for Jeffrey, right? Like, is he going to submit to the power of Clarabelle? Is he going to overcome and claim his, you know, or is he going to like keep reclaiming his independence from Clarabelle? Like, what's going to happen here, right? And
now I'm going to stop you just before you go on.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you're going to go for the belt next time, you know that you are booked to lose this time.
Oh, okay. So
you have to decide how you want to play this. If you want to overturn that, or if you want to play into that.
I think I want to play into it, and I think the way I'm going to play into it is I will flee, but in fleeing, me and several of the cultists are going to grab the Padishah, and we're going to put the Padishah on the cross and carry him out of there.
Okay, so essentially, you're fleeing the match, allowing the Skunk Ape to win by escape. Padishah, what does that look like from your side of the ring there?
The Padishah is screaming the whole time, strangely, not in mortal terror, but wait until the athletic commission hears about this. This is patently illegal. I am not a competitor.
Yeah, we tie Padishaw down, and we and I carry Padishaw out on my shoulders like Jesus carrying the cross. Okay, but of course we have to have I have to have some help with that, but that's the way it looks. Anyway.
And Steiger's still in the ring, holding up Clarabelle, shaking it. The skunk ape is still. It looks like he's relieved that the Padishaw isn't there. You'll see the wallaby come in and like go to take the skunk ape's hand, like it'll be okay, and any last things we see from Dingo or Randy or the Gauntlet for this episode?
I just don't think I can top that.
Okay.
No, that's what I was just thinking.
All right. So we see the skunk ape getting let out by Wallaby. Maybe the Dingo is waiting for him. He knows animals.
Yeah. You're like making my comic relief move for me.
A mechanical question.
Yes.
Does kind of the stuff between Bleakwood and Padishaw to give the skunk ape the win count as interference on behalf of the client to win them the match?
Yes.
All right. Then I need to make a roll.
Okay.
So this is a roll 2d6. So it just looks like it's a straight roll with no modifiers or anything. Let me clear that first. So that is a 7. So I can it doesn't matter. Okay. I'm already at 4 heat, and
so take you're at 4 heat, so you would gain an audience, Padishaw. The crowd they're relieved because Jeffrey Bleakwood was the source of this 5 minutes of screaming that they had to suffer through. And they're also relieved that the Padishaw, who was beating this poor animal, is being taken out on the cross. And so there is this thing where the audience is kind of split, but they are relieved by the end of that. And so that is the show in Montreal.
Nice.
Is Padishaw going to be in the finale?
Yes,
I am.
Okay. All right.
The only person here we're losing is we're losing Edwin, Randy.
I've really got to try and get there.
So thank you for playing, Edwin.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's been good fun.
I did want to try and hit that comic relief move if that's
let's have it. Sorry, let's have you roll that.
Cool. So 4 plus real 1, so 5. I'll use momentum to get it there. I just I think like the wallaby's up there like petting his hand, and then you see like in the distance like a spotlight comes on the Dingo as he's got like a big old like tranquilizer gun, and it just sprays air or whatever, but the skunk ape looks like he like wobbles and falls. And then like a bunch of like animal controllers like come up and like hook skunk ape around the neck with those big old poles and like drag him out of the mat.
Oh, that's great.
I love it.
Awesome.
But I want to gain the concession that I've wanted,
which is
to not be like to not be in a fight with like somebody who wants to fight. I want to be wrestling.
All right, we'll keep that in mind for next week when we do the booking.
Nice.
Well, thank you guys very much. That's the end of this episode. And next week is a pay-per-view. There's going to be some belts on the line. And Edwin, you did manage to get the tag team belt. So you
back another time
restored the Burns name.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to stop recording.
I gotta say, well, how like every session of this game kind of adds more toys to the toy box for like future campaigns. The skunk ape and the wallaby at some point.
Yeah.
Tag team.
That's a match waiting to happen. Yeah.
Awesome.
Didn't I thought that Dreamboat and Gauntlet got the belt?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, they right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
Although
just a
I'll
rough
tell
shot
you
in the
something. I realized something afterwards, which is that I should have insisted on them getting the belt instead. And the reason for that is that the boss playbook, I don't get in advance if I get a belt. I get in advance if someone I have 4 heat with gains a belt. And I was like, oh, well, that's great because Randy will get it at the pay-per-view and I'll get an advance.
Oh, well. I'll see what I can do. Then a miracle might happen. I might make a run-in performance briefly. Run in, run out with a belt.
Awesome, guys. I'm going to stop this.